I have the funny ads person on the show today. This is Kristine Mirelle, and she's going to talk about how she has created viral ad campaigns that have generated businesses tens of millions of dollars. And she's told me that I could cut my lead cost in half by just becoming a little funnier. So we're going to figure out how to do that. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm excited because I would love to cut my lead cost down because that would basically make me twice as much money.
Yeah, exactly. Same exact ad spend, but more people
twice
signing
the
up
leads
for your stuff.
Yeah. So just to recap, I've done funny ads before,
Right.
and they totally flopped. And the funny ads for me were doing those transition ads where like people were kicking the water bottle and the bowl kicking you and all this stuff, and they just did not work.
Right.
And I was like, this attracts like the wrong person who's just coming for entertainment. Funny ads don't work. And then I saw you starting to be like with Russell Brunson, who's a friend, and then that's where we met in person at Russell's office. And I'm like, okay, I gotta know, because they're clearly, I like watching funny ads, but how do they start working for a business like mine?
Right. So I know we chatted a little bit, and you told me about how the funny ad that you had created, I think you like rolled over, like you said, one of the, kind of those ads that are really entertaining that people will watch, but it's not necessarily the client that you want. So really the main thing was, starting out, the way that you make funny ads is the same way you would make serious ads. So we wanted to just be able to tell people that, hey, we solve a problem for you. We solve a problem for you. Here's how we solve the problem for you. But we're doing it in just a more entertaining way. So even whenever I saw you with Russell, I had talked to you about how one of the ads that we had done had doubled his traffic, right? All of his ads were going, we doubled the traffic. But that doesn't mean that every funny ad you do does. It's kind of just like you make a few ads, you test them, and if you have one good winner, it's always, we have 3 ads right now running for one of our products, and all 3 are great, but one of them's like easily blowing all the others out of the water.
Right.
And it's a funny one.
Well, I think that's with any ads. Like, I mean, I'll go film literally 20 ads at a time, and I got my ads guy with me right here, and it's like one will end up being the clear winner out of all of them.
Right.
And I just said something slightly different.
Right. And sometimes it's just maybe there's something different going on in the background. I mean, there's so many things going on, but just for us, it was like to consistently see that like it's normal to double, triple, or quadruple someone's traffic for the same amount of ad spend, right? And that, and it can actually, like one of the things that we did with Russell when he, for his selling online event, what was cool about it is it didn't just bring in twice as much traffic, but that same traffic that landed on that same landing page actually converted at 11% higher.
Wow.
So for you, what you were worried about is, oh, sure, there's lots of traffic.
Yep.
But if they're not buying anything, if it's just people that were like, oh, this is a funny guy, let me see what else this is. You have whatever your offers are, the real estate offers or whatever you're selling. If they're not willing to pull their credit card out and buy, you don't even want them clicking. It's messing up the algorithm. It's messing up everything, right? So really, there's just like a few elements that you just have to like have in the ads to make sure that you're still attracting the right person. So you create an ad that sells, and then you make that funny. You're not trying to be funny and then hoping that they buy. You make an ad that sells, and you take all the elements of what an ad needs to have to sell, and then you add humor to it.
Got it. Okay, because we already know what ads work. Like we have a baseline right now. So like we know what scripts work, what pain points, what motivations, all those things. So I guess my question is, what do I do with that?
Right. So that's actually the first step. So the first step is you write down, what are the pain points of my customers?
Okay.
Right. So like, what are some of the pain points of your clients?
Well, let's just say somebody wants to buy our wholesaling program or house flipping program. One of the pain points is they want to make more money.
Okay.
They're currently not making enough at their 9 to 5 or whatever, so they want to get into real estate on the side. So I guess that'd be like the number one pain point. The second might be that maybe they're just confused, right? They see all these different real estate strategies out there, and so they're not sure which one's best, and so they've got a little bit of a paralysis analysis.
Okay.
So I think those are the two.
Yeah, so those are 2 really good pain points. So just like with any, great ad, you're probably going to start off saying like, hey, have you tried all these things and they haven't worked? Are you confused with how to create passive income or how to do a side hustle, that sort of thing? But whenever you're doing funny ads, we just think of a more fun way to present it. And sometimes we don't even have to think of it as like funny, but just entertaining, really, because nobody has to laugh out loud for them to understand that something could help them, right? So like, for example, if I were to create like the ad that we did, the one that I was chatting about right now, like with Russell, we did something called an anti-testimonial ad. And it's a certain type of way that we present all the information that you just shared with me. So for example, you told me that their pain points are that they maybe, like you said, analysis paralysis. They don't know where to start. They've probably been told to do a million different things, and they're like, what do I actually do? And then they just want to be able to create some sort of, more income on the side, or maybe replace their 9 to 5, maybe quit their job, those types of things. And so what we would do is an anti-testimonial is where instead of saying like, join Ryan's, program because I was able to, make $500,000 last year. Instead, we say, don't join Ryan's program. And so immediately someone's going, don't join, like, what is this? And maybe there's a headline that's like, do not join this challenge, right?
Yeah.
So it starts with that. Then you're like, why would they do that? And then the person starts talking about all the things that they learned from you or all the results that they got from you, but they're complaining about it like as if it's ruined their life. So for example, someone could be like, oh my God, I make so much money now. I've had to hire a tax accountant. Do not join Ryan's program. The bank keeps calling me because, I keep on hitting the $250,000 FDIC insured, limits. Do you know how many bank accounts I've had to open? It's so time consuming. Thanks for nothing, Ryan Pineda.
Yeah.
And then so they're, continuing on. Hey, like I've had, I have so much time now because I don't have to watch a million, YouTube videos trying to figure out what to do, that I just hang out with my son all day. I can only take him to the McDonald's Playland so many times. Like there's so many things because now you're complaining about the extra time. You're complaining about the money. You're complaining, and they're actually real things, right? It's like, hey, you're having to set up new bank accounts because you're only insured at $250,000. Hey, you're having to actually get a tax attorney. But they're problems that people want to have.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's just one example of a way to present it. But the way that we had really found this, like one of the biggest discoveries that I had seen was I had put a testimonial ad out there for my products because I have other businesses as well. We don't just make ads for other companies, but so one of the businesses was, or one of the it was an actual real testimonial, and I had people that were like, I made $30,000 in my first week working with Kristine. I made $100,000. I was able to double. It was real testimonials. They're real good stuff, and then I tested it against an ad where it was me playing two characters. And it was me, and then it was me dressed up with like a mustache and a sombrero. And I'm Hispanic, so I can make Hispanic jokes. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to tell you about someone we worked with, meet Pedro. This is Pedro before he worked with us. And I'm like, I have no money. And then I'm like, now meet Pedro after he worked with. I have lots of money. It was just the most ridiculous thing ever. But when we tested the two against each other, guess which one won, and it was the funny one. It was so ridiculous. And that we're able to watch, in Facebook Manager, able to see, hey, how much is it costing us to acquire this customer? How much are they, is everything still staying the same after the person comes in? And we just saw that it was like, oh my gosh, it was on a really great ad could quadruple. I mean, literally quadruple the sales. So it was like a lesson in my mind because I'm like, I thought this all need to make sense. I thought these needed to be really logical ads, and we still covered like the desire of people, what they wanted, but we just did it in a more entertaining way. And that opened my eyes to, oh my gosh, funny ads work.
So you did it in your own business.
Yes.
And at that time, what was the business that you?
So my very first business, the very first business I had, I was living on a farm in the middle of New Mexico, and I had no Wi-Fi or cell phone service. So I wanted to launch an online business. I didn't have a car either. So, how do you build a business online with no Wi-Fi, right? Like that's kind of going to be a little challenging. So I decided that the only way that I could do this was paid ads, right? Because it's not like I could go live. It's not like I could do webinars. It's not like I could do challenges. It's not like I could post organically every day. But I could create an ad, and I could allocate a budget, and the budget could promote that ad, and it could send it to a funnel. I could automate everything, right? All the delivery and everything if I'm selling a digital product. And so I created this ad to promote a book at the time, and I had just gotten out of music industry. I just had a baby. I had no time. So all these things that were like, okay, what do? I don't have any time. I can't be posting all the time. So how do I create one ad that brings lots of traffic instead of 50 videos organically and hope that people take to this and hope that the algorithm shows it to people? No, I knew and I believed in what I was doing and what I was selling. It was a book to teach musicians. It was a list of resources for musicians to promote their music. That was it. It was just a list. And it was for $19, and that was all. And I made my very first ad. There was a toilet in our backyard because we had just redone my mom's bathroom. Like I always joke, like Latinos, we just put like all this stuff in our backyard. And so we had like washers and dryers and all kinds of ridiculous stuff. But anyhow, I put the toilet in the backyard, and I made my brother sit on it. And we were just juggling. I mean, just doing the most ridiculous things. And then I ended up at a whiteboard. And at the whiteboard, that's where I made sense. So the rest of the ad was just kind of fun. And I posted the ad. And I had been posting serious ads before. I mean, I had multiple Shopify stores. I'd done a lot of stuff. And it took me like 2 years to get my first sale. So I don't want this to sound like I did one ad and was like, killed it. It took me 2 years to figure out everything. But then I started posting serious ads and I was getting sales. So I was like, okay, the product works. And then when I created this funny ad, it was all of a sudden, it was the first time that I've ever experienced like $1,000 or $2,000 days. And there's no delivery for me. I'm not doing any delivery because it's a book. It's already delivered. Yeah. Right. So I'm not having to spend weeks in a coaching program or now do any calls or do anything. And I couldn't anyway because I was on a farm with no Wi-Fi. Right. So for me and my lifestyle at that time, and with the restrictions of me not having Wi-Fi, raising a child, my son was just born. I was a single mom. Paid ads was a way for me to eliminate having to do organic, constant posting, lives, challenges, delivery, everything, and just create this like automated system. But if I could bring in enough traffic on the front end, I could sell enough of these little $19 products that within 18 months, I started running ads for an additional company, an e-commerce company. We had done a little over $2.5 million. So with no delivery. So there was no delivery on the digital product side. And then I had worked out running ads for an e-commerce company where I took 50% of their profits. And I didn't have to do any of the delivery either. So it was constantly there was a combination of like funny ads and then being very creative on the product design so that I didn't have to deliver.
Yeah. You don't want to deal with fulfillment.
No fulfillment at all. I don't like dealing with teams or anything like that. So my businesses now too are same structure.
But you said now you guys do funny ads for people, so you have some fulfillment on that end.
Yes, but I delegate a lot. So with the funny ads, what we do is I actually have a team. And so what I constantly look for is other people that can do the things that I'm selling better than I can. So when we did the ads, there's certain people that I like to do the ads if I really enjoy it. Like when we did Russell, I actually acted in the ad. We filmed the ad. I was like, I'm going to do, it was just something really fun to do. We recently did an ad for a pet insurance company. They're awesome. And what I do with certain clients is I hire my team, or I pay my team, and I just supervise it. So I'm from here, and they're filming everything in LA. So now there's a delivery, but I have almost no, I'm just making sure that it's done right.
Yeah, you're overseeing it all.
So so the delivery is there's low touch points there.
Yeah, got it. So when somebody comes to work with you guys, obviously they're already probably running traffic. They got offers. There's someone like me who's just trying to figure out, man, how do we get more leads for a lower cost? What does the process look like, working with these? So, I mean, you said one thing, pain points.
Yeah.
So we talked about pain points. Like, how do we go about just scripting this ad? How much time does it take? That's one of my fears is like when I see all these ads that are like really funny. I mean, they look like legitimate commercials, you know? It's like, man, they're acting. They got like these sets and wardrobes, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to do all that.
Yeah.
Like I remember, by the way, too, seeing one of Russell's where he was like Mission Impossible one time. And I'm like, I don't even want to know how long that took him, but I don't want to do that.
That was like a day or 2 days of shooting.
Yeah, that's 2 full days of acting. It's a lot.
Right, and you're hoping that
and you don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you're hoping it performs. So the cool thing about when you decide, to make any type of ad, not even any funny ads, right? You decide how much work or how little amount of work that you want to do. So for me, even though I have access and we have our teams and fancy cameras and all this stuff, most of my ads I still just shoot with my cell phone. And I do really, really simple. So it's only whenever I have a script that I'm like, I really want to bring this to life and put the work in and spend a whole day shooting, that I'll do that. And that's not often because I'm a mom, I have a 5-year-old. So I think for you're looking at it going, man, I don't want to have to do the sets and do all that kind of stuff. Yep. But like one of the ads that we did recently, or one of the ads that it was only a 15-second ad. I shot it with one cell phone. And all I did was I used a audio of a choir. Singing, it was going like, there is no way. That's it. That's all it is. And so I don't even say anything in it. I just walk into the screen and I just act like I'm, telling the choir to sing. And so you hear this, there is no way. And on the headline, it says, when someone asks you to do a gig for free. And that's it. I'm just touching on the pain point of my customer. It took me it literally took me 15 seconds to film it. The whole ad was 15 seconds. But it was just a fun thing. I got tons of comments. And originally I had posted that as an organic video. And what I always share with everyone, if you post something and something does organic, does well organically, sometimes that's a good sign that you could test it, in paid ads. And when I looked at that, I remember looking at it going, would people click on this? Because this is weird. It's not like I gave a call to action. It's not like there was a script. I didn't even say anything. The headline just said, when someone asks you to do a gig for free. And this was back when I was just teaching musicians. And then I'm just sitting there, orchestrating this audience that's singing. And it was just an audio clip, and it performed so well. We had that ad running for months.
Wow.
And so I think you're seeing the big, production ads, and you're thinking that's what you have to do, but you don't at all.
Okay. So if I was going to try and do this, like, do you think the selfie style stuff works the best still?
I think it's not really about, like, is it selfie? Was it shot with this? Was it shot with that? I think, some people always ask, is it long? Is it short? Like, what's the best way? And what I always say is there's nothing like, where you'd say it should have been shot this way, it should have been shot this way. It's either boring or it's not. Like, it's either done well or it's not. It's either scripted well or it's not.
Yeah, highly produced can be funny.
Yep. Then shot on
selfie
a cell
can be
phone.
funny. So it's either you're funny or you're not.
Yeah, and it's either a good ad or it's not, because something could be hysterical and it perform really terribly as well. If you're just, covering yourself in poop and saying, hey, buy my real estate course, if you're not touching on any pain points of the customers, you're not explaining to them what the result is, the transformation, like what are they going to learn? Like, if there's so many things. It's just
shocking. That's more just shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not finding your ideal. So you have to like intertwine it. To me, it kind of sounds like a VSL ad that's funny.
You could do it with VSLs. I mean, you could do it. So you could make
No, but I'm just saying, like, the concept of a VSL is you're going to have to like explain who you are, the problem you solve, who's this for.
Yeah.
But you're condensing it into 30 seconds.
What I found is if you just focus on the pain point alone, that alone is strong enough to have a funny ad. Like the ad that I just gave, hey, when you get asked to do a gig for free. That's it. I didn't even say I had the solution. I didn't even say anything. Musicians looked at that and they were like, oh my gosh, I get asked to perform for free all the time. And then at the bottom, my headline, did say, buy our book or whatnot. But, super simple ad. But if you just focus on, hey, are you tired of this? Hey, are you tired of that? Hey, does it, if you're like a mom and you're like, hey, are you trying to build a business, but you're having to do with this, and you have your kid in the background, you're on a Zoom call and the kid's like hitting you, in the face with like a toy truck or whatever. We had an ad running like that where I just had my son like literally jumping up and down, pulling me all over the place, pouring food all over me, that sort of thing. And then I just invite people, to join our challenge or join our webinar or whatnot. So even just focusing on like just the pain points of your customers, that already they go, oh my gosh, she gets me, or he gets me. They obviously have a solution. There's so much psychology around, and so many, like Harvard has done tons of studies. All these people have done tons of studies on how when you smile, when you laugh, like how much like trust is immediately built immediately from the brain. Like it's really exciting.
I'm already thinking about like our best performing ads. We're basically teaching people how to flip or wholesale, and I'll run ads targeting people who want to buy rentals.
Right.
And the people who want to buy rentals want to buy it for cash flow and for passive income. But the problem is, the big pain point is nothing actually cash flows, because everyone right now is like trying to buy houses, like, to give an example, when I go in depth on the numbers, it like hits home for people. They're like, I'm experiencing that same problem. I'll be like, look, there's houses here in Las Vegas. The average price is like $500,000. And that means your mortgage is going to be like over $3,000 after you put, $100,000 down, right? So you're going to put $100,000 down. Your mortgage is $3,000, and then it's only going to rent for $2,500.
Right.
Those are the legitimate numbers here in Las Vegas right now. And it's like, how do you buy a rental? How do you cash flow? Where do you even get $100,000? And people are like, yeah, that's the problem. And I'm like, exactly. So I've got a different way to go about getting cash flow. Go watch this masterclass.
Right.
And so that works really good. And I'm just thinking, like, how do you make versions of that funnier?
Yeah. So something like that, you kind of already did it right in front of me. So you kind of played two characters where there's one person going, yeah, but if I'm going to spend 3,000 and only make 2,500, how does that make sense? You know?
Yeah.
And you're like, I know, that's what I'm saying. So it's like creating something like if you played two characters. So just what you showed me, I would say, why don't we turn this into a 2-character thing? And you could shoot this so fast. You could do exactly what you just did. You could be like, hey, are you thinking about buying buy a rental? Or you could be like other gurus, hey, buy a rentals, put $100,000, you could create cash flow. And then it could show a guy. And if you have like an accent or something that you can do, it's always like really fun. You could be like, I bought a property the other day and it's not even cash flowing for me, and then the other guy could be like, no, but I got to just put $100,000 down and the mortgage is going to be $3,000 and you can rent it out for $2,500. And then he could be like, the math isn't mathing. You tell me it's going to cost $3,000 a month and I'm going to make $2,500. And then the guy could be like, well, no, you should do it anyway, or, whatever. And then the guy's like, well, I don't want to do that. There has to be a better way, and then you could come in and be like, hey, if you're tired of buying properties that are not performing well, you're obviously not making a profit.
Okay.
I have this better way. So just exactly what you did, your customer, and just creating two different conversations. And what's fun is if you play one character, like these are called beginner versus expert ads. So you're the expert. So you're like a serious person. And then the beginner is someone, with the accent or with funny glasses or something fun like that, like to bring attention.
That gives me an excuse to use my like borderline racist Asian, accent.
Yeah, I don't know how to do math. You know how to do math. You're an Asian. Tell me how I can make some money.
Exactly. So, all right, as long as I have permission to be like borderline, actually fully stereotyped. Okay.
You can totally do it. I do it a lot with Mexicans. I always tell people don't stereotype any other races. Just your
I'm
own
Asian,
race.
so I'm gonna just make fun of typical Asian things like being freaking cheap and there's a lot. Being good
really
at math.
Good at photography. Yeah.
Asians are good at photography.
Electronics.
I did not know. Well, they're smart.
You have all the cool electronics.
Yeah, I'm like, you're a smart Asian guy. You run numbers. That's what you do.
There we go.
You run numbers. They don't add up. Yet you want to go buy rentals. Okay, here's my other.
Trust me, I'm Asian.
Trust me, I'm Asian. I know the math doesn't line up.
That should be your slogan. Trust me, I'm Asian.
Yeah.
I'm good at numbers.
I know the math. It doesn't add up.
Trust the Asian. Click here. Done.
All right, I'm going to try those ads. And if I get flagged on Facebook for being racist, then whatever.
I'm writing the ad for you, Ryan. We're doing it.
Okay.
I'm writing it, and then we're going to shoot it.
Okay, now, how does one become funny? Okay, because I'm just naturally riffing and whatever happens, happens. That's how all my ads go.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm that funny, but I also think that I know how to be funny when needed.
Right.
But there's just a lot of really boring people in the world who like have no personality at ever. So how do you get funnier?
Right. Okay, so this is a great question because everyone's always like, I'm not funny and my business isn't funny.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, so they go, oh, I can't make funny ads. And I'm like, have you ever like seen Geico? Geico is an insurance company. All of their
boring
ads,
business.
All insurance, right? And they're
the Aaron
spending
Rodgers
billions.
Insurance stuff I love.
Yeah, they're spending billions of dollars. They're one of the biggest advertisers, in the country, in the world. And they're all funny ads, right? They've created characters and they've created, it's so easy a caveman can do it. I don't know if you remember those ads, but those are so funny. The Geico Gecko, like all those things. So first, getting it out of our heads that like your business has to be funny or that you have to be funny. Because really at the end, when I say funny, I think it's probably better for me to say like entertaining, right? Because nobody has to laugh out loud for them to be interested in buying. So really, there's 2 steps to make anything funny. The step is first you come up with what's the pain points of the customer, and then how do I exaggerate the pain points of the customer?
That's good.
And that's it. So that's all it is. So it's just like, hey, are you tired of this? Like maybe you're a fitness coach, and your main thing is you teach people how they can still, eat cake and lose weight. And so then you're
that's
like,
a good slogan.
Yeah, exactly.
Eat cake, lose weight.
Eat cake, lose that. Yes, that's a good one. So maybe you're like, you're starting off and you're stuffing your face with kale and you're crying. And you're like, do you feel like you have to live like this for you to lose weight? There's kale and there's like tomatoes and water. My water is diet water. I thought it was 0 calories, but it's diet water. Apparently, like going off and just exaggerating how ridiculous it is, you know, or maybe you're on the treadmill and you're teaching people that they don't have to work out all the time. And so the person's on the treadmill while also eating kale. And now it just looks absolutely ridiculous. You're like, are you tired of feeling like this? You know, and the person's like, I can't do this. So you're just figuring out what are the pain points and how to exaggerate. And that's it. So really, it's not like you're creating like a stand-up special, right? It's not like there's like a punchline to that. You're just making your customer laugh at themselves. Like they're laughing at their own problems and challenges. And it's just that simple.
Right. And then it's just the call to action at that point. How do you transition from the obnoxiousness or the hyperbole to the, hey, you know, I can help you with this problem?
Yeah, you can do it in multiple ways. You can do it really serious where it's just like, hey, you know, after all the fun, hey, I'm Ryan. I'm actually here to tell you that there's a better way.
Yeah.
You know, click the link for this. So you can do it that way. Or you could continue, you know, with the characters. You know, I did one with my son recently where I had him, he was kind of like this hard business executive almost, you know, and we're like, you know, you're making boring ads, you know, Blockbuster made boring ads too, and look what happened to that, you know, and where are they? And then he's like, nowhere, you know, so he's just like, so we created this character where he's like this, you know, like this boss, you know, and then at the very end, we still maintained those characters. And so I was like, you know, so click the link to get my funny ads writer. And he's like, or don't, and watch your business suffer, you know? And so, and
at
then,
5.
Yeah, at 5. And so it's like, it's funny because it's not what you expect out of him, you know? And I'm like, wow, that was harsh. And he's like, so is business. I'm like, you're right. Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So stuff
Do
like
what the kid says.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, like you could do it in a serious way. You could keep it fun. I mean, it just needs to make sense. As long as if you're solving someone's problem, it's easy for a customer to be able to see that.
Yeah. So just like talking numbers, and I know you said that it can be done in multiple ways, right? It can be selfie style. It could be you playing 2 characters. Could be you and another character. Have you found that one works better than all of them, or it's hit or miss? You just got to keep just doing a bunch.
I've known, like when we make certain skits, there's moments where I'm like, this is so good. Like the way that it transitions, like the way that it moves from one thing to another. I will say that one of the best performing ads that we ever had was the anti-testimonial type, which works so well. We've done it in my business. We did it for Russell.
Do you do it yourself, giving the anti-testimonial, or someone else?
No, someone else.
Okay, got it.
So someone else going, don't sign up for Ryan's thing. You know, when I did it with Russell, it was me going, you know, don't go to Funnel Hacking Live. You know, that sort of thing.
Do you put like at the bottom, this is a paid actor, or do you like, or if it's a real person, like what do you do? Is there legality that you got to do? Every
business has their own legal team.
Got it.
So like with the pet, we just did one for a company called Pet Priority. They're a pet insurance company, and they had their own, you know, their legal team said, can you put these, you know, at the end just to make sure. So then we have all the, you know, the fine print at the end.
Yeah.
So everybody does. We've done multiple other ads for like Russell, like last year, and we had certain things that we couldn't say, could or couldn't say. So we always, like, if someone has a legal team, we always chat with them because they're going to tell us what's, you know, what are the regulations, because every single industry is different, and then we get it approved through their legal team before we, you know, like film it.
Got it.
So yeah.
So Chat GPT.
Yeah, there we go.
Their legal chat.
Yeah, there we go.
So okay, you're doing that. I guess my next thing is, what kind of numbers difference are you seeing?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because like the best performing ads we've had of me are literally right here, me talking to the camera, this background and everything. And we've tried other things. Like I've tried being out with people at our events. I've tried being out in front of houses and things that take effort. And nothing beats just me being like, dude, you should just come to this thing. And it crushes. Every single time. Cold traffic, warm traffic, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just me sitting right here, getting straight. It takes me 5 seconds to make. And like my mindset is like, number one, it just crushes. And then number two, I can pump out volume instantly at any point when we get ad fatigue and everything else.
Right.
And so I guess my question is, from your standpoint, how long do these ads kind of like last? Because I could definitely see them in the beginning just crushing, and it's like, wow, this is like the funniest thing, and people sharing it and, you know, all this stuff. But then eventually it's like, okay, I've seen that ad, and it kind of loses its shine.
Right. Yeah, it varies, obviously. I had one ad, so for the cologne company, It ran for 4 years, which
Whoa.
was wild.
That's crazy.
Which was wild. It's also a massive audience, right? Because it's just males.
Every man.
Every man on the planet, right? That's a massive audience. Whereas like Russell Brunson's ad that we did, they spend a massive amount of money in a shorter period of time and target very specific, you know. So those, a few weeks. You know?
Okay, got it. It all depends on the audience size and the spend.
Yeah, and then what event they have coming up. You know, there's so many different things, but yeah, like it depends on the, you know, if it's an offer that everybody toothpaste or, you know, something that everyone uses, it's possible that you could have an ad that runs for a very long time, because that's an audience of hundreds of that's billions. Everybody brushes their teeth, you know. So
yeah. One thing I was talking to Russell about, and it was funny because I guess he was talking about his mastermind, but he was like, yeah, you know, I started taking some of my podcast clips and all these things with other people, and then I would run the clip, and then it would just be, you know, the rest of the ad after the clip. And he had a picture of me and him doing this podcast, same background, everything else. And he was like, yeah, this ad crushed. And I was
you
like,
just need to shoot on that background.
I know. And I was like,
time.
Dude, and I saw the ad a lot. And then I saw the same thing with Myron Golden, and he was running ads too from our podcast with the set. And I'm like, maybe it's just the set. Like
something
maybe
magical about this.
I don't know, but if they're running traffic to it and I'm seeing the same thing,
you got something.
I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here.
Maybe we just had a little bit of humor and shoot it here. That's
for sure.
Do.
That would be my number one thing I would do is like,
right.
all right, I'm gonna just say something outlandish.
Yes.
About these pain points and try to make it as funny as possible.
And we're just shooting it right here. Yep. I'm down.
Okay. Well, I was just curious like how long these ads last, but it makes sense, right? It's like how big is the audience? How much are you spending?
Right.
Like all that goes into account. But have you tried like still doing serious ads for your stuff too?
Yeah, I do a lot. Yeah,
your serious ads are kind of like the anti.
I know.
Ad
well, you know,
you.
It's so funny. Then people will comment. They're like, "Aren't you the girl that does the funny ads though? Why are you doing serious ads?" You know? So there's some people that buy with emotion. Some people buy with logic. You know.
Got it.
So
you'll do like a serious ad telling people to buy your funny ad thing.
Yes, and then they're confused sometimes, but they perform fine. But the funny ads typically outperform. Like what I've found is if I do a really great serious ad and a really great funny ad, like 9 out of 10 times the funny ad's gonna outperform.
Like how much would you say on average it will outperform?
Up to like 4 times as good. So I'll get up to 4 times as much sales, or it'll cut the cost to acquire the customer, you know, down to like 25%. So like if it was costing $40 to acquire the customer, it might cost $10 to acquire the customer. So those types of things. So I'll see, hey, if we were doing it, you know,
think that's the average, or you say like that's
no,
the
that's
best
on
case?
the high end.
What do you think the average is?
On the average, what I found is it's really normal for anybody that's going through our like challenges, webinars, or anybody that we've made ads for that have made serious ads, so they at least have a control to be able to compare. Yep, you have your control. It's almost always double.
Really?
So, yeah, it's almost always double if we've done it right. You know, and just like with any ads, you can't just say just because something's funny it's going to perform well. You're going to put a few ads out there and you're going to test them. But whenever we have that ad that performs, it's, you know, it's going to double. And that's just on the kind of like, okay, we did a decent job. But what I'm always aiming for is that 3x, 4x.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
I would literally, if that was true, I would literally sit here and just figure out how to be the funniest person alive.
Yeah.
I would sit here and I would hire comedy coaches. I would just try and figure out how to be way funnier.
Right.
Because that would impact my business literally more than
Insanely.
anything else I could possibly do.
Insanely. Because you also think, you know, and I had mentioned when we did the selling online, what was really cool was to see how that the conversions actually increased on the page. That actually went up 11%. So you're cutting the costs in half or doubling the traffic, however you want to look at it, and then they're converting at 11% higher. That could be everything that makes.
I don't even need them to convert higher.
Right, but just add that. Like that was like the sprinkles on the cake.
Bonus.
Like what, 11% higher? And if they're offering, you know, they're offering a 10K, 15K on the back end. Now you've had double the traffic and 11% higher conversion. And like that could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars
A lot.
on the back end or more, you know,
lot.
just from tweaking those little things on the front end.
Well, for me, we spend hundreds of thousands a month on ads. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like the math is the math. If I literally doubled my traffic for the same price, I would make double the money.
Right.
So back to my point, like I will literally be the funniest person alive if that was truly the lever. Because I mess with everything. I'm like, okay, how can we make the presentation better?
Right.
How can we make the product better? How can we make the landing page more optimized? And at this point, I think all of those things are pretty much dialed in.
Solid.
So the front end is like the last lever, and we have a hard time beating the control.
Right. Well, we're doing it.
We have a hard time maintaining the control.
Right.
It's just
how often are you doing ads? Like, are you having to film? Like, how long are your ads lasting? Because you're putting a considerable amount of money into it. I mean,
how long do you think they last? How long do you think the ads last for? A few weeks.
Yeah. Well, we have ads that run that have been running good for 2 months.
2 months.
A few weeks to 2 months.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm down. Let's do it. We're using this background though, for sure.
For sure. Okay, like let's do it right now. How would you start scripting? Like, how would you do it with a client?
Yeah, so I would first ask you what are the pain points, kind of like just what we did earlier.
Okay.
And then I would probably go straight to one of my favorite types of ads also that perform really, really well that I would test something like here where you're sitting here against a walking and talking video, which is like, remember Dollar Shave Club?
Mm-hmm.
Where Dollar Shave Club, they're like, the beginning, I don't know if you remember, he's like, our shavers aren't just good, they're effing great, and then starts this whole thing. And there's really no like punchline. There's no moment where you laugh out loud, but they had something like, I forgot how many, they ended up selling for $1 billion cash, right?
Yeah.
And everything was funny marketing. They created this like cult following. So I'd almost want to do something like that with you, where you would start off like sitting here on the background, but then you would like be walking and talking about, all the pain points of even, what you were talking about right now. You're thinking about buying a property, you're going to make $3,000, but or you're going to get $2,500 in rent, but it costs you $3,000 for the mortgage.
Yeah.
And then throwing in like what we just talked about, like you don't got to, trust me, I'm Asian. I know the math, and then moving on to the next thing. And so just kind of sprinkle, like the way that I like to look at it, it's like if you do 1-2 punch, like Mike Tyson method, right? Where you say two things that make sense and then something funny. So you would say, oh, so, mortgage rates are at 7.2% right now. So it's almost impossible or whatever it is. 2, you can only get $2,500 on a mortgage that costs $3,000. So you're negative $500. Now here's the funny part. So we've done 2 things that make sense logically. And then the third part would be the math doesn't math. Trust me, I'm Asian, right? Then we move on to, again, logical. We go into another, 1, 2, 3 step. So maybe saying something more about the pain points or more of, hey, join, here, we're going to help you get more, leads of, buyers here. We're going to teach you how to get them for less. And now the third punch would be, you don't got to shake your butt on TikTok to get it. And now you're like, doing a little wiggle, whatever, something ridiculous, but we
and
appeal
by the way,
to
I did
logic.
shake my butt on
Oh,
TikTok
you did?
when we first started. So in 2020, they could cut to my
they could cut
old
to that.
clip.
Yeah, you could be like, and this was me back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't have money.
And now I don't do that.
Yeah, and now I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you how to not do that. And then it could be showing you, doing the whatever you were doing, shaking your butt on TikTok.
Yep.
So it's like we combine logic and then we just like light it on fire with a little bit of happiness.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to film that here in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So now, how many versions of that do you film?
Right.
Is
So
the question.
what I always recommend is just creating different hooks. So whenever you write out, like we'll create like 2 or 3 different hooks for something like that. So, and sometimes that might just be starting in a different location. Sometimes it might be like, hey, let's just do this exact same thing, start in a different location. So maybe you're going to use your money wall right here. Like this is your money shot. Maybe you're going to start another one where you're talking and you're being serious. And then there's just like somebody dressed as like a banana in the background that you're not even giving any attention to.
Got
right.
it.
And you're going to test it against that. Maybe another one, you're, shaving or something as you're talking. So just different things. And then you just see which one performs and get rid of the ones that aren't performing and scale the one that's performing.
Got it. Because usually what we do now is, okay, if it's just a pure talking head ad, we'll film like literally 10 to 20 hooks.
Yep.
And then same body just on all of them and just see whatever happens.
Right.
That's the typical process.
Yeah. And you can easily, imagine the ads that you're doing, even if you're doing like a serious ad, if you do multiple funny hooks, really, if you just get people on that beginning part and make them laugh at that beginning part, kind of stress, exaggerating that pain point. The rest of it can be serious, and you'll be amazed at how many people are like, oh my gosh, she's so funny. Just because the first few seconds were fun, and then the rest of it's serious. So it's really that hook.
Okay, so we got to have more funny hooks, then mix some logic.
Yes.
Get for real.
Sometimes you don't at all. I mean, it's mixing up all these different combinations of things. And because you can't, the thing is like, it's hard to put math on how people will react because we're talking about people's emotions. Yeah. Right. So there's formulas and there's certain things that you can say, hey, it's likely that this will perform. It's likely that this won't perform.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is, like one of my best reels was just me being funny at a house tour, and I just winged it. And right now it's got 317,000. I actually kind of think we should maybe run an ad to it or something because it is a super funny reel, and I was just being really dry, checking out all of it. But
well, there you go. There's the proof for you.
Yeah, no, I killed it, and people were like, "We want more like this."
Yeah. Well, you kind of have that like energy, like the dry, sarcastic, deadpan.
Yep.
Type. Like, is this the house you really want to live in right now? You know, like I could show you a better property with my eyes closed, or whatever that looks like. But you standing in front of each, whether it's the living room or the kitchen or whatever, really dry, sarcastic, deadpan. We did one like that where I was standing in front of a plane and it was super deadpan, and it was one of our best performing. No, it was our best performing ad for that challenge. We still have it running. We've run it for about a year now, and for that challenge, we've run the same ads. I think 4 ads for a year, and that's all I'm doing. I'm standing in front of a plane, and I'm standing in front of a plane, so that must mean that I'm successful. Except that this isn't my plane; it's Gary's. And then it zooms out, and there's Gary, and it's his plane. And the whole thing is just really dry and sarcastic because I'm poking fun at, the bros online. They're like, look at my Ferrari, and it's not their Ferrari. Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm standing in front of a plane, so it must mean that I'm successful. It was really, really dry and sarcastic, and so I love that energy. So yeah, you should totally run with it.
Okay, I've got that energy. So I could do that. Okay, that makes sense. So I guess even we didn't talk about this. Obviously, like that's part of what you're doing now. You said you got another business with you're giving me a gift from one of your businesses.
I do. I have. Okay. So I have a tortilla chip and salsa company. Okay. So I brought you some tortilla chips.
Okay. That looks good.
They're really good. I mean, trust me, I'm Mexican.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And people think I'm Mexican, so trust me.
You look like you are.
I know, so I know good chips.
So I brought you some chips. Here you go.
Cool. These look good. I like these chips because they're like the thin tortilla chips. I don't like the thick ones.
And then I brought you salsa. So that's actually me that was me like forever ago when I started this business in like 2009.
Dang, you've had this business for 15 years?
It's been a long time, yeah. We're in like Whole Foods and Sprouts. And
wow.
We've actually, the very first funny ads that I ever created were for this company. And I was like, it was like 2014. I ran them on television. So
this is a pretty seductive chip.
It's the best ever. It's so good.
No, I'm saying the logo. Not the chip. I'm saying the logo's like, it does not look like the old, what's the Mexican girl? Ferda or whatever her name is? Frida?
Yeah, something like that. Well, usually it's like a grandma.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you got the salsa too.
All right. Now, if you really thought I was Mexican, you would have gave me a spicy one.
I know. I'm sorry. I brought you the mild because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll eat the mild still, but it looks good. So you guys are in Whole Foods.
We're in Whole Foods.
How was retail of like being in because here's the thing with these online education companies, you never see like real things.
Right. I know. Like sometimes I'm like, we don't even have a real business. Like, what is it? We just made up something out of, thin air. This is obviously way different because there's an actual product, like even when I did the e-commerce stuff, it was different because what's great about e-commerce or retail, as long as the product is what they ordered, they're happy. Whereas when you're selling coaching, someone might be happy with the same result. Someone else might have gotten the same amazing result, but they were like, but I thought I was going to be a billionaire. So now they're not happy. You know? So, and then plus so much relies on their effort. Whereas for like chips, it's like you buy the chips and the chips taste good. They got what they paid for. And that's that. But then there's just lots of other things that come with it. There's pros and cons of both. But that was my first like I guess real business.
I mean, you've had it for 15 years now.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys are still around. Must be doing well.
Yeah, we're still around. We and what's really cool about that.
Do you do any marketing for it at this point since it's in Whole Foods? Like, isn't that kind of the marketing?
So the marketing is kind of different. So instead of like doing like television ads and even online marketing ads, I don't really do a lot of this stuff because the audience doesn't live there. The audience lives in Whole Foods.
Right.
So rather, I go into Whole Foods and I have we give them discounts so that they put us on the end caps.
Yep.
Right. So they have higher profit margins, or we have someone go in and pass out samples. So now
you just want to get them aware of it.
Yes, and those are people that are already there shopping in that Whole Foods, as opposed to running a broad ad hoping that whoever watches it actually shops at Whole Foods. You can't really just target somebody that shops at Whole Foods. There's ways to get into like that niche, but it's just easier to go straight into the business and into Whole Foods. And then sometimes I even give them product for free.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you product for free if you order this much. And, the cost to acquire a customer now is maybe I might be losing $1 per person, which is like nothing. Because I keep them.
The next bag is profit.
Exactly. And then they're buying forever.
Exactly. At that point, why not like try to really scale this?
So many people have asked me that.
Yeah, I'm just
They're
like, man,
why
you've
don't
been
you
doing.
Just do that?
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing this for 15 years, and now you're teaching people to be funny. Like,
yeah,
I'd be slinging chips.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of it is lifestyle. I'm a mom right now, so for me, the fact that I can open my laptop and just do something from my laptop, appealed to me really great. But if I wanted to do it, I absolutely could. I think I've just been really excited with the idea of being able to reach the world through a computer. There's different pros and cons for different things. What's been wonderful is I actually probably spend about 5 minutes a month on this business. So I'm pretty good at delegating. So I have the manufacturer and the distributor. Kind of like if we went to affiliates, right? If you go to an affiliate, they might manage, 100 affiliates or 1,000 affiliates or whatever. And now you can get your offer in front of 1,000 people that are going to go and sell your product instead of you going individually and selling one-on-one, right? That's like a really great way to get your offer to a mass audience really fast, even if you don't have an audience. What I did with this company is I did the same thing. I just got a mass distributor that, we had such good profit margins with immediately when I was delivering. I used to deliver the stuff by myself out of the back of my car, like hundreds of pounds of salsa, delivering it myself, standing for 8 hours, passing out, samples of chips in the stores. But then once I got a distributor to say, hey, we'll just distribute this, it was kind of like getting an affiliate, manager. And then they put us in like, hundreds of stores or whatnot immediately. So it was like, how do you go to the one person or the one company that can like, distribute the quickest? So I've thought through it. I've thought about it. It just requires different things, factories and, finding different things. It just seems.
You think you need a bigger distributor if you were to go at scale?
Yeah, I would need a different distributor, but then I'd have to find manufacturers. So I've actually gone through a lot of the steps in finding, maybe someone's watching right now that does this, but finding other manufacturers that can create the chips. There's a certain recipe and a certain way that we do it. We don't have like preservatives, and there's just certain things that make the chip like really amazing. And so I need to find other manufacturers. And so I've gone through the steps. I know that if I wanted to really do it, that business to me is like, that's the $1 billion company.
That's what I'm saying. This has the potential to do.
Yeah, that's in my mind. I've always known that. So even as I focused on other things, I've always maintained this because I know whenever I want to like.
This is like a freaking tight cap. I'm like trying to open it and eat it right now. And so it is so tight.
I also brought a few different bags because I'm not going to lie. I had 3 bags in my closet and one bag is like brand new and the other bags have been in my closet for like 3 months.
So one might be stale?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even want to embarrass myself because I almost pulled my arm out trying to open this cap.
You got to just hit it on the side. Hit the if you hit the lid and then open it, it should open. But
yeah.
We can try it afterwards.
Yeah, we'll try it after. But I can already tell the chip is good because it's a thin chip. But I was even going to ask, like, how many times have you had to even like change the formula? Like, it seems like once you have a winner.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't change it. No.
Yeah, you just.
I would
let
never
it sell.
change it. Yeah, yeah. If I was going to add something, because we do all the staple Mexican food products. So we make corn tortillas, flour tortillas, lots of other different things. We make taco shells and a bunch of different things. So we don't change anything. If I was going to change the recipe, I would just create a new product. So we have one called totopos, which is a thicker tortilla chip. It might not be the kind that you like.
Yeah.
And that one, we created a new formula, but we created a new bag.
Got it.
So it's just totally different. Yeah, I wouldn't even change it. I would just be a new flavor, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you look at like Tostitos, they have so many variations.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, with lime and lemon and
they got the
restaurant
scoop
style.
Chip. Yeah, restaurant style.
Yeah, exactly. So many different ways. So yeah, we have different sizes. We have the little like 2 ounce and the little snack size. We have a bunch of different ones that we've done. And so, yeah, it's fun.
I think that's cool. Like what would you guess like percentage of your income comes from that versus the digital stuff?
Because I don't apply so much, to this, and because I've delegated most of the work out, I've shared those profit margins with the distributor. They're small profit margins. I mean, they're like 10%. Right. So, whereas before when I did all the distribution and everything, they were more around 40%. But I was doing everything, right? But yes, it was profitable very fast. It grew very fast, and then I didn't want to, I just didn't want it to be my focus at that time. But have you ever
thought about like trying to sell it to Frito-Lay or something?
I haven't. I did. Okay, here's one thing though. I trademarked the slogan, "All that in a bag of chips."
Oh.
So I own that slogan. So people are like, "Oh, you think you're all bad? You think you're all that in a bag of chips?"
Yeah.
It's actually on the back of the bag. So
Yeah,
I've had
all that
someone
in a bag of chips.
Yeah, I've had someone make me an offer to buy the trademark for the slogan, which was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've sold in
that
the back
seems
of
like
my
free
mind.
money. You kind of don't need it for this.
I know. Just sell the slogan to Frito-Lay. Yeah, there
Yeah.
we go. I want them to come buy the slogan. Yeah, in the back of my mind, it's always been like one of those things that at some point I'll pull the trigger on that, because that's always been like the $1 billion play in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
So we'll see when that time is.
That's cool. Until then,
we're making funny ads.
Yeah, we're just going to crush ads. What do you think you would do after that? What if you sold it? What would you do? If you got like some life-changing money, would you even make funny ads anymore, or would you just chill out? Because you seem like you're like a lifestyle business person. So what I found with lifestyle business people is when they've achieved the optimal lifestyle, they're like, all right, I'm good, dude. Like I don't have any desire to scale. I'm done.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I'll definitely say as like I've like automated and kind of built different things, I've found less and less excitement in like certain things in the business aspect, but it's usually the product. So my background's music industry, and so I'm an artist. So I used to go door to door selling my music for like 10 years. I started when I was 10 years old. I did it for a really long time.
Selling mixtapes.
I've done thousands and thousands. Well, my own terrible recordings. It was me playing the piano and singing. And so I remember there was a time when like I could have gotten a job, but like the thought of having a job, I just slept in my car and said like I've bathed at a gas station, like those types of things. So for me, it was the thought of doing something I didn't like. That's really more of the pain point. Like I don't want to do something that I don't enjoy. So like even in the past year, it's like I've introduced new things. Like I just introduced a mastermind that I'm so excited about. So now I'm excited about scaling that, but I know there'll be a point where it's done and I'll want to do something else. And I'll be like, oh, that was really fun, and that worked, which some people go, okay, that works, let's do more of it, which is probably the best business idea. But for me, because it's lifestyle, I'll say, oh, that was great. What's the next fun thing that I can do? And what's awesome is, if you know business, you can make money at anything, right? And you can be successful at anything. So money can come with anything. But if your desire is to have a certain lifestyle, then not everything's going to make you happy.
Right. What is the reasoning with the hair colors and everything else? So I've had many hair colors in my career.
Didn't you have like blue hair?
I've had every color.
Okay. Oh, you've had every color. Okay.
Yeah, pink, blue, blonde, red, green. Yeah, I've done them all. And I'm not going to tell you my reasoning, but I'm curious what's your reasoning.
Because I'm kind of curious about yours. So mine, I wish I had like a better story, but I had just shown up to, I'm really like pretty easygoing. So I just went to the hairstylist and was like, hey, I was thinking about maybe putting like a red streak in my hair. And the guy's like, we only have pink. And I was like, okay, cool. That works. And then he just put pink in my hair. And then from then on, it started, now it's half. So half of my head is pink and half of my head is blonde. I wish there was some like symbolic, like there was this moment when I was, in Thailand. And, I don't have anything like that. It's just
It's not naturally blonde though, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started dyeing it maybe like 4 years ago. And what happened was I was on social media and people were just like, just the guy with the hair.
Right.
And dude, my hair's always been like this. So I was like, people are really talking about my hair a lot. Kind of back to the funny thing and the pain points.
Right.
It's like this focal point that people kept mentioning. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to really give them something to talk about. So I dyed it blue one day. They're just like, what the heck? And then I was like, all right, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to dye it this color and that color. And then every year I would just dye it and I'd let it grow out and then it was over. And then I'd dye it again and have fun with it.
Well, that ended up being like your brand and how people remember you.
Yeah, it ended up being accidental. Now, I haven't done it in like over a year, and I don't know if I'm going to do it again because I just kind of like did it and it was fun. But now I'm just thinking from the ad perspective because back then I didn't really run ads. It was all just like organic. I really am curious how it would affect the ad cost. Positively or negatively.
My guess would be on the positive. So that would just be my guess because of branding, right? They're always going to remember you. You're always going to stick out. You're always kind of just the memory. Like there's so many like studies over like how people just who they remember is who they buy from, And so I would guess that it would work in your favor. I think you should do it. I didn't know it was pink.
Oh yeah. The pink was good. My favorite was probably the red and the orange, but I also like pink.
It's manly of you.
Yeah, I did. I like what do they call those? The pastel.
Oh, the pastel. Oh, those are the best. I've done pastel pink. It just washes out so fast.
I know.
So that's the only reason why this is like neon because I'm like, okay.
I know. And it's hard with black hair. Like you got to like burn it.
Yeah.
To a crisp.
We've burnt a lot of my hair off many times.
Yeah. Well, now, okay. This is the next test I'm going to run now.
Okay.
Now that you mentioned this.
We're dyeing your hair colors. We're doing funny ads.
Well, I'm going to do funny ads first.
Okay.
So I have a control serious thing.
Got it.
Then I'm going to do funny black.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do control colored.
Yes.
Colored funny. And we'll have a 4-thing matrix to see what crushes.
I think the colored funny is going to like destroy all the other ones.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm going to write you some scripts. I'm going to send them to you. You got your whole team.
Yeah. We'll knock them out.
Film it. It'd be awesome.
I just don't really want to put that much work in. So
okay. So we're going to make an ad with not that much work.
Yeah. That's my main goal.
Okay.
Just, man, if I got to go buy a banana suit, I mean, we could do it, but like, I guess buying a banana suit's not that hard. You just buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's fast. But you don't have to. Like, there's so many different ways we can do it. So we're going to make the ads and then you can maybe later when people watch the podcast, you can be like, oh, it actually worked.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Now I was just thinking, I probably can't do it because if we start doing a lot of evergreen stuff, that might cause a problem.
With funny ads? No,
with dyed hair.
Oh, with dyed hair. You think so? Do you think someone's going to go, I would have bought from you if your hair was still blue?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that's interesting. Well, if somebody wants to work with you, where do they go?
Yeah, so they can, if there's someone that wants us to like actually make ads for them, they go to laughmyadsoff.com.
That's a great domain.
Thanks.
Laughmyadsoff.com.
Yeah, I tried to get Kiss My Ads, but someone else had taken it. But we own a bunch of different ones. We own like Open a Can of Whoop Ads, and we open.
That one's too long.
Yeah.
Open
we have.
I
like big ads, and I cannot lie.
I like big ads.
We have just a bunch of different domains for fun, but laughmyadsoff.com. And then if they want to actually learn, because we have like our coaching and stuff like that, they can go to. They can actually get a free course. Yeah, they can get a free course. So they go to freeadscourse.com. That would probably be
freeadscourse.com.
Yeah, freeadscourse.com, and they'll be in my ecosystem, and they'll be able to.
So freeadscourse.com will literally, I would assume, get them a free course on ads.
Yep. Yeah. Good observation.
Yep. And then the other one's kind of just an agency model.
Yeah. Yeah, agency model. And then we have, Yeah, we have we have our funnyadswriter.com that writes your ads for you. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It asks you a few questions. It's like a AI thing.
That's
It's
what I
so
was going to
cool.
wonder is like, how do these people script? Like, do they just go to chat or an AI
Yeah.
like this and be like, here's my product, here's freaking what I do, make
Right.
me some funny things.
Yeah, like you could, and then sometimes ChatGPT might give you something decent, but a lot of times it's really cheesy.
Yeah.
And so I give people, like, we have our custom AI where it'll, it's like just a funny ads writer asks you a few questions, and then it, like the beginner versus expert ad that we just talked about with the two people.
Yeah.
There's a menu, and you decide, hey, which one do I want? And then you tell it, and then it asks you a few questions about pain points, and then it creates the two characters, and they talk to each other. So it's really cool. So I just give it like the framework.
Yeah. I haven't done a character ad in like, well, not ad, but just video in like 4 years. Cause like, I remember when I started doing TikTok and COVID and after, like that thing became a style of content, just talking back and forth to yourself.
Right.
And then I was just like, this is so lame. Like after a year, I was like, man, this is such like kid stupid crap.
You know what you find? Because
But now
after
it might
you've
be
done
cool again.
Well, it just depends, because if you don't want to do it, then it becomes a job, and you're not gonna create something that's awesome.
No, every ad for me is a job.
Every
so it
ad.
doesn't
Okay.
matter.
All right.
I don't want to do any of them.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. You know what's funny is I don't even like being in front of the camera. Everyone's like, you don't like being in front of the camera. It's like we do it. We made the ads. Like initially, I just made the ads because I was trying to get sales. Right.
Yeah,
That's it.
for sure.
Yeah. Like I'm just trying to make money. That's my goal.
I
Everything
only
else,
like the podcast.
Okay. Cool.
Anything I have to do solo, I do not like.
I would have
period.
loved it if you would have said, I don't even like people on my podcast. Like, no.
Sometimes I don't, depending on the guest. But yeah, anytime I do a solo episode that I got a script or an ad, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, when is this gonna be over? But the
Right.
podcast I enjoy because I don't have to think, and I like having conversations with smart people regardless. So it's like,
Right.
oh, if we film it, then even better.
Right.
Because I'm gonna ask you how to film funny ads regardless.
Yes.
You know,
Might as
So
well film.
we
us
might as well
talking
film it
about
because I'm like, I really want to know how I can make my business better and more profitable and all these things. And if I get to benefit from it, great. And then if thousands of people also get to benefit from it, even better.
Right. Well, and I've found like recently too, the way that I enjoy it, I just have to add something different. Like now my son's at an age where we can do some funny stuff together. He has ideas. And so now I've been having fun because I'm doing something with my son. I'm already going to be playing with my son. I'm already going to be doing something with my son. He loves shooting videos. He loves acting in them. So now we get to do something together that we're already doing.
Yeah.
So, but now we get to make money together. So I'm like, this is great.
That just made me think of something funny. But like I've seen a lot of my entrepreneur friends like now trying to do stuff with like their girlfriends and stuff.
I know.
And it's like trying to capitalize off like a good looking girl
Right.
to get attention.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
so you should do
you're
that.
just like pimping out your girlfriend.
You know what'd be funny? Have like a really beautiful woman behind you and you're almost like not giving any attention. And at the end, and you can be like, and you're probably wondering why I have this beautiful woman behind me. It's because it cuts my ad conversions in half.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife will like that. But it is a
Or have a poster of a beautiful woman.
here's
There we go.
here's an idea. Do you think, speaking on that topic, right? Like we know that a funny hook will get people to look. But do you think that there's a correlation between ad cost and looks?
Yeah, definitely.
So you think good-looking people will get lower ad costs?
Yeah, I think that like we're all humans, right? So if you put like an attractive person as the, front person, it can help. It doesn't mean that someone has to be attractive for it to,
Yeah.
because there's plenty of, most comedians, you think of like Danny DeVito, is like,
Most comedians are not good-looking.
yeah,
That's why
they're
going to
walk into the room and they're probably going to get more attention than the most attractive person in the room.
Right.
So I think funny works better than sex, right? So it's like, if you're funny, like you're Danny DeVito, everyone wants to be around you. As opposed to, a beautiful person. But if you have a beautiful person that's also funny, like that's where you could, kind of, I've even seen agencies where they like, I saw an agency ad the other day where someone's like, do you need a beautiful woman in your ad? And that's all they do. I was like, wow, okay. Like they're like, it cuts conversions in half or whatever. And I've definitely seen, other men in the entrepreneurship space and they just have a picture with them and their girlfriend or whatnot. And
Yeah.
Apparently it's working, but
Where do you think AI is going to play into this? Because you can just go generate some beautiful person to be your spokesperson.
yeah, now you don't even need it. I mean, I turned myself into an avatar recently. I don't know if you've done that yet. Have you done that with like Hey Jen or anything like that?
No.
So I turned myself into an avatar and I no longer have to do any videos. I just tell it like what to say, and it says it for me. It's not as like
it's
animated.
going to be good soon.
Yeah,
like
it's not as
better.
animated, and there's different things. But if I could still create one, and then now you have like Veil and these other, apps that can literally create entire sequences. Like they're really,
And
really great.
I'm glad we're talking about this now because I forgot I was going to bring it up. But like, okay, speaking of these funny skits, I mean, the skits can be endless with AI now.
Yes.
And now, like, I don't have to do it. It's like,
Right.
You go on Veo or whatever, and you're like, hey, I want Ryan jumping out of a plane into a house,
Yeah.
talking about what a great deal he got, and then the house explodes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And it'll do it.
And it'll do it, which is wild.
And
So
I'm
now you
just
don't
like, I
even
wonder
have
how
to-
good those ads would perform.
Yeah. So now you can do everything. I mean, you can have ChatGPT actually write the ad, and now you put it into like Veo, and it'll actually generate all the visuals, and you didn't even have to
Have
do
you
anything.
tried it like that extreme yet?
Yeah. So we've written ads, and then the only thing we're having a hard time is just getting the scene changes consistent. Like if there's no scene change, we can do it. It's really simple. But it's still figuring out all the prompting and everything right now.
Yeah.
So that's been something we've been working on in like the last 3 weeks. We'll probably within the next time I see her, or probably, I mean, honestly, the next few weeks we'll have it. We'll have it down.
Like, to me, that seems like it would kill it.
Yeah. And that's what also makes it amazing is for someone that has like an agency that
You can
just
make that
do
for
it.
everyone else.
So now it's just like we can turn you into a character, and now we don't need you anymore. So
Yep.
Ryan, we're gonna make all your ads for you. You don't even have to show up ever again.
I freaking
You don't have to get in front of a
would
camera
love it.
ever again, Ryan. And we're
I
just
know.
gonna make them for you,
I would love it.
and we'll deliver them, and then that's it. You run them.
I also think this is like thinking way out into the future, but right, you could let's say you don't have a brand or anything else, right? Like now, like you can make awesome ads with some actor and whatever else, but I think like if you do have a brand and a recognizable face or something, now it's like, even as I was thinking of the future, I'm like, man, like if I was to ever sell the company, you could just
Sell your likeness.
yeah, you sell your likeness, and now I never have to film for them again. And they're like, all right, cool. We don't need you to film, dude.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we can use your likeness and you beating up sharks and
Right.
like whatever we decide,
Yeah.
then it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You would never even have to be there. You would just license out.
And it becomes
Your
an asset
image.
more than
Yeah.
a liability of like, oh, this is too dependent on you for ads. It's like, actually, it's a
Mm.
benefit that you get to.
I've even seen companies that didn't have a face at all create a face
Yeah.
through AI. And now every time they pop up in my feed, that's their spokesperson.
But I mean, that's
Right.
what the Geico Gecko is and the caveman.
Right.
I mean, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
They don't have a insurance face. Jake
Right.
from State Farm. They're all
Mhm.
just characters created.
Oh, well, and can you imagine in the future, too, and probably not that far from now, we'll have robots that could actually look like you. So now you could actually have you or your essence or your, what are the Tupac light thing that
Oh
they
yeah.
had?
Yeah. the
The hologram, like all of those things kind of showing up for you, and they would just be paying you and then probably paying your family for years to come if
Yeah, look at Michael Jackson. They got the show on the Strip. What does Michael Jackson make from
yeah,
that Cirque du Soleil that's just been going on forever?
they license his songs, license his image. Like, yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
licensing IP has been around forever. I was telling somebody this the other day. I'm like, if you really think about it, they're like, yeah, are there going to be AI like celebrities and influencers? I'm like, yeah, they already exist. And like, what do you mean? I'm like, think about Marvel. What is Marvel? What is any IP? Star Wars, Harry Potter.
That's a good point.
They're all fake things
Yep.
that somebody imagined. They've been around for, in some cases, Marvel's cases, comic books for 50 to 100 years, depending on how long that Batman's been along, Superman. Like these things have been around so long. Mickey Mouse has been around for like 100 years, and he still freaking makes bank today.
And can you imagine the marketing too going on in the future where you have a robot or AI, whatever they're going to call them, an artificial human, and then advertising, and now Ryan's going to be here, but the actual human, like that's going to be real
Then that's
marketing.
a really big deal.
Because now they're going to pay more for that ticket
Yeah.
or more for that pro. Like you actually get to really work with Ryan, not Ryan AI or whatever.
Yeah. It's going to be a crazy world.
And now we take that for granted, but in the future, to think that that's going to be a thing.
But it's all, this is my point. People don't think those are things, but they're already things. So,
Yeah.
for example, okay, cool. You can go watch my YouTube, which is basically Ryan AI. You can go watch this virtual event we're going to throw, which is Ryan AI. But yo, you want to meet Ryan and go to the real thing? Well, you can come to the live workshop and meet him. People pay tons of money to come live versus virtual for that same reason.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like the example that you gave. It's like Batman, Spider-Man. All these are already fake characters. They just happen to be a human inside the suit. Now it's not going to be a human inside of the suit, or it could be a robot, or it could just be the image of it. But they were already existed.
Well, they were fake
The concept
character on
already
a piece of
existed.
paper.
Yeah, the concept was already there. Now we're just able to animate it within seconds.
Yep. So I think it's all the future. I think it's all already here. Just people don't see it that way.
Well, even I was watching Zuckerberg. He was talking about how the way Facebook is going. So the agent, like the people that are going to be running the ads, are going to be completely obsolete very soon. So he was talking about how in Meta,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, that they're just talking about how you're going to be able to just tell it what you're saying, and it's going to create all this stuff. But he did add that they're not going to be able to replace the creative agency yet because the creative is still powerful. So that was really cool to hear him talking about the creative, because we all know anybody that runs ads, we know the creative makes a big difference. It's not just the audience targeting or whatnot. But it was really cool to hear him say that. But who knows how long that's going to last?
Yeah, he even said they're trying to do creatives for people too.
Yeah, they are. So he said that they are doing the creatives, but he just said that the really creative stuff they haven't quite got there. But I mean, that's like minutes away. They're going to.
I mean, if you think about Meta's big picture, right? If they can take all this off your plate, start running ads for you, and you knew the cost per lead and the return.
Yep.
Like, you would spend more with them, because most people, this is why their ads fail, because the creative sucks, they don't know how to buy, their landing page sucks, their funnel, like there's so many things have to go right for you to get a return.
Yes.
And they all require individual expertise with each section, right? And so Meta's whole point is, okay, well, our AI is so good, we'll get rid of like the audience selecting. That used to be a thing. Right now, it's like we already know who to serve your ad to, right? But we still haven't given you any feedback on your landing page, how to spend the money, when to spend the money, your creatives,
offers,
all those things. And it's like, for them, yeah, that would be the end game if like they could take a normal everyday business who doesn't have the money for an agency, who doesn't know how to make ads, and they can go make it for you.
Well, and if you ask most people like what they think their biggest challenge is in their business, they almost always say traffic.
Yeah.
It's like they've got the offer.
I don't have enough leads.
Yeah, they're just like, I need more traffic.
Yeah.
But paying for ads, it's just too complex and confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to waste money. I don't know this.
And
To
most will, by
eliminate
the
that-
way.
What's that?
Most will waste money.
Yeah.
Because they don't know, and they
Right.
don't know who to hire.
Right, exactly. And so now to eliminate that huge, you want to get from idea to profit as quickly as possible, and you have all of these steps in between, but just running ads, like after you've, spent, some people spend, years just trying to figure out what offer they're going to put out there, and now they have to figure out how to get traffic is a whole other different thing. To eliminate that, I mean,
I've already seen it in my own business. So at Wealthy Investor, we used to, teach people how to flip and wholesale houses. And we'd say, look, we're going to teach you how to do these things. We'll teach you how to raise money. We'll teach you how to market and, basically do the things we're talking about for real estate. But eventually I realized that if the more of those I could just do for them, the better the offer gets, the stickier they become. And so now we just give them leads. We do all the marketing from the jump and just give them leads. So all of that of, man, what marketing channel should I use? What kind of budget? It's like, no, it's already included.
so are they buying like leads in a package?
Yeah. So we give them leads, we give them softwares, we give them coaching, we give them funding. So I've looked at every problem that a person would have that would prevent them from making a profit. And I said,
Eliminate it.
we'll eliminate it.
We did that. So we created ads for a solar panel company, but they sold solar leads.
Yep.
So, and it's just lead generation for that particular. And then we did it for like lawn care companies and water filtration companies. And so we would create the creatives that would generate the leads for the people that need water filtration. And then they would sell those leads to the water filtration companies or the solar panel. So yeah, I'm familiar with the model. That's interesting.
But even then, like even if you're just a lead gen company, there's still half the equation that's a problem of, are you teaching them how to work these leads? Because
Yes.
they all think leads
Well,
suck.
they had a call center.
Yeah.
So then they would take the leads. So now you could buy the leads and use their call center as
Yeah.
well. So kind of going through like what you said, what's
Exactly.
the next thing that they're going to have
The
to
next problem is they don't
eliminate?
call their leads.
Right.
So how do we
Or
solve
they
that?
call them a day later.
Yep.
We're going to call within 30 seconds.
Mhm.
You know, we got the lead. How quickly can we call the lead? Is, you know, most people can't get to them that
Yeah.
fast.
And then that brings up this whole new world of, well, then does AI start just getting better at sales? And then now you don't even need that. And so AI
Right.
handles all your sales
Call
calls.
centers are going to be gone. Like they're already, I know so many people that aren't using them anymore, just using AI. And it sounds almost like a human. I mean, they're like very close.
Yeah. That's the hard part too. Like I have a lot of friends who have VA companies and stuff, and they're like, yeah, you know, like I'm like, dude, like I would not want to do that. Like for definitely not a call center. Like I'm just looking at the future. Like
Yep.
it's like me owning a newspaper company. Like I wouldn't want to do that.
You know, I think it's really going to go more towards results based, right? What's the result, right? So it doesn't really matter if it's like someone has like a solar company, right? They just want solar. They just want accounts that need solar. They just need to close that $50,000 client.
Yeah.
So instead of selling the process, it would just be selling the result. Like, hey, if you're an agency, I'm going to get you, and we do this with a lead gen company that we work with, where we charge on, it's a like a cost per conversion
Yeah.
instead of just
The
an
result.
action. Right.
They're charging for the result.
Right. So it'd be like, hey, we will get you these, you know, solar panel, you know, conversions where a buying customer for 20,000.
Yeah.
You know, so
I have a lot of friends, not a lot, but a few, who are in that space for lawyers, and they do it by case.
they do a case. Okay.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we charge $1,500 a case.
Right.
So we have already signed the client.
Yep.
Here it is.
And so then they just ask, what are the profit margins that you're willing to?
Yeah, and
work at, and
it's
then
like,
work
you know, we know a
backwards.
client is worth on average $8,000, but it's going to be the next year of litigating
Yes.
this case.
Right. Right.
And
But
so
I think that's like where agencies are going to have to go, because now if the person's not going to have to do all the steps, or they know that AI can handle a lot of the legwork, now it's just, I feel like that's going to go more and more towards that direction.
And that's my point. And I even see that with what used to be an education company now as a full all-in-one company. It's like, I just see that this idea of piecemealing everything together goes away, and people who can deliver the solution
Right.
win.
Yeah. Just like results as a service.
Yeah.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
We did something kind of similar like this. So, we teach the funny ads, and then some of the people are like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to get in front of a camera. So we created faceless funny ads.
Yeah.
And then we deliver those every week.
Yep.
So we actually deliver them to each of the clients. And many of them gotten like 2 million views organically. It's not even paid ads. It's just organic posting. You know, it's just organic. And so
It's just AI.
Yeah, and it's just we're taking, what we do is we actually just take already existing content that you can share legally, that is already funny and already performing, and you just change one headline.
Oh, I see.
So it's already proven.
It's like those accounts that repost memes and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like that kind of stuff, but we're delivering it
I get
to
it.
each client and then showing them how to tweak one thing. It takes like 30 seconds to create a headline to bring in their customers. So it's just delivering it. So, hey, I know you've learned how to do it. We've taught you how to shoot it, but maybe you don't want to. And maybe the thought of being on camera doesn't even sound good. You'd rather just have a faceless content page. You just want to deal with delivering your product or service. So how about every week we'll just deliver this content for you?
Yeah.
So just eliminating all the paths of resistance and all the
Yep.
things that they have. And here it is. It's done for you.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking too. Well, cool. That is a lot. We will link to all of your stuff down below.
Awesome.
So for anyone who wants consulting, anyone who wants it done for them,
They want some chips and salsa.
chips and
you
salt.
know?
Well, you got to go to Whole Foods if you want that. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I'm excited to try these new scripts, and it's gonna be good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Guys, make sure you subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.